I read a post lately that spoke very deeply to me and has put me in a state of meditation for quite a few days now. And the post was, I dream of never being called resilient again in my life. I'm exhausted by strength. I want support. I want softness. I want ease. I want to be amongst good people. Not patted on the back for how well I can take a hit or how many. I don't want to be celebrated for my resilience. I don't want to be admired for how much I can endure, how well I take the hits, or how gracefully I carry what should have broken me. I want something else. I want softness without suspicion. I want ease without guilt. I want support without first having to prove how much I've suffered to deserve it. I want to be surrounded by kin, by those who don't just applaud my survival, but who refuse to let survival be the only story I tell. Because strength was never meant to be a constant expectation, but a tool when needed. And I'm so tired of always having to be strong. Sound like anybody you know? Maybe you're feeling the same way. Being strong and resilient is not a way of life. It's character that you develop through trials, and trials are supposed to end. It's definitely not the way that you're supposed to live your life, just surviving every single day. So stop praising people for being strong and resilient. When they have an off day, don't encourage them to keep going, to pick up the pieces and move on. That's not what they need. They need time to hurt without having to find the lesson in the pain. They just need time to feel the pain. They don't need encouragement. They don't need to be told to keep going. They've gone long enough. And that version of themselves that has survived for however many years, maybe it's dying. And it's creating room for a new version of themselves. A self that doesn't have to fight all the time. A self that doesn't have to purely survive in this world, but to truly live in it. Does anyone think of that? No. Because they are just trying to help. Which is human nature. But it's not always right. We admire people who are strong and resilient, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's not the only characteristics that make them human. Those aren't the only characteristics that make them who they are. And survival mode is not a way of life. It's supposed to be used for a time to get you through something. But when that something is over, it's time to breathe again. It's time to relax again. It's time to feel and live your life again. And so many people are desperately trying to do just that. They're trying to get their nervous systems out of survival mode and back into the rest and digest state. They're trying to heal. And they don't need people patting them on the back, telling them how strong and resilient they are for doing so. They just need time. They need time, they need silence. They need to be with themselves. They need to sort through their own feelings of what hurt them, to process them, and to let them go. It's not an easy thing to do. It takes a lot to do so. It takes a lot of faith. It takes a lot of mental, emotional, and physical work to release those emotions from your body. The mind, body, spirit connection is huge. And when you've been traumatized, those fragment. That's what journeying back to wholeness means. Putting all those pieces back together and becoming whole again. It's proven in psychology that it fragments pieces of your brain. That's why people disassociate. They feel like they're watching themselves. People who've been through trauma view it almost as a movie. Like they're watching the terrible thing happen to somebody else when it was truly them. Because it's broken apart from you. And when people are going through that, and when they are being put back together, they need gentle, they need softness, they need safety, they need love. They need to be checked up on. How many of you have that friend that you think is strong and carries everything on their own, and so you never check up on them? You never check in and say, hey, are you okay? And those are the people that need it the most. Because they've carried the weight of the world on their shoulders for a very long time, and they're tired of doing it. And you shouldn't have to do it. If you are part of a family or community, you should be able to delegate those things to other people, and you shouldn't have to carry everything on your own. Single moms and dads are probably the worst for it, because they do. They literally do have to carry everything on their own. And sometimes there's nobody to delegate things to. And that's hard. But that doesn't mean you can't heal in the midst of doing so. But it takes a lot of mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual preparation to do so. And work. But you know what? Everybody's got the same amount of hours in the day. How are you going to spend yours? You can spend it doom scrolling if you want to. Or you can spend it investing in yourself, which is the best investment you'll ever make. Because the more you invest in yourself, the more you have to give to other people. So the next time you're sitting with a friend who's tired of being strong, who's tired of being resilient, who's tired of life knocking them down, don't tell them to get back up. Don't tell them they can do it. Just listen. Let them voice what hurts them without having to find the lesson in it right away. Let them have that time of ease and softness. Just like I said, that could be an old version of themselves that's dying, and that needs to die because a new version is being reborn. A version that doesn't always have to fight, that doesn't always have to just survive, but can engage with life again, who can feel their experiences, and who can feel their life again. Something to think about. Take care, everybody.